Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of the St. Clair County Regional Educational Service Agency, with your host, Terry Harrington.
Welcome to Dateline Schools. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. What are we talking about? Of course, it's technology. And so on this edition of Dateline Schools, I'm going to take a look at the education technology that's offered to our students here in St. Clair County. And joining me on the program, my guest this week is the Director of Education Services here at St. Clair County SCCRESA, Dr. Joanne Hopper. But before we begin our conversation on education technology, let's tune in to this education update.
Thanks, Terry. The Parent Liaison of St. Clair County Know How to Go initiative will share ideas with their peers nationwide thanks to a stipend from the Walmart Foundation. Kathy Buzdicker is attending the National College Access Network's, or NCAN's, annual conference in St. Louis, Missouri this month. Her registration fees and partial travel expenses are being covered by Walmart. The NCAN conference allows college success and college access professionals to exchange ideas, information, and inspiration on getting more students to attend college. The St. Clair County Know How to Go initiative is a partnership between SCCRESA, local school districts and colleges, and other community leaders. Several local students continued their learning over the break as a part of the Pine River Nature Center's Summer Nature Club. Children from grades preschool through 6 met weekly for 6 weeks to explore the center's grounds and study animals, insects, trees, and more. Students performed investigations and made crafts centralized around the themes of bats and bugs, mammals, and stream study. This is the 3rd year the program was offered. The Pine River Nature Center is adjacent to the Goodalls County Park in Wales Township and is owned and operated by the St. Clair County SCCRESA. A new online registration process will make life easier for the workshop participants and SCCRESA employees alike. Anyone interested in attending a SCCRESA professional development workshop will now do so through the SCCRESA website. Paper applications are no longer accepted. Education Services support person Tammy Sly Armstrong said the new system will improve accuracy with participant information, invoicing, professional development, reporting, and more. The online registration process applies to any workshop added in August or later. Some local students got help preparing for school this fall through the efforts of the Women's Initiative, a part of the Community Foundation of the St. Clair County. The group gave 2,600 free backpacks filled with school supplies to needy children in the county throughout August as a part of its 2011 Back to School program. Each year the group works with other community organizations to provide the backpacks. In the past 8 years, the group has distributed close to 21,000 packs. This program is supported entirely by contributions. And finally, everyone should mark the date on September 29th on their calendars. That's the day the state will officially count students attending school districts. That day's count determines each district's budget allocation from the state, so it is very important that all students show up. Absence could cut into the amount of money the state sends to the district. I hope you're enjoying the school year. I'm Chris McGeechee. Terry Harrington and Dateline Schools will return in a moment.
Welcome home, man.
All right, guys, we gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flat my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up
to play 60!
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
Welcome back to Dateline Schools. On our program today, we're talking about education technology, some of the exciting things that are happening in our local schools. And to help tell us all about it, my special guest is Dr. Joanne Hopper. She's the Director of Education Services here at St. Clair County RESA. And Joanne, I know one of the big things that you do every year, you have that technology symposium. And just before school started, we had our 4th annual here in St. Clair County. Who were some of the key presenters you had this year?
We were privileged to have Stephen Heppel from England, a professor there and an internationally known technology expert. We had Rushton Hurley from California, who's also globally known. Stephen Dembo from Discovery Education has been a big part of our symposium for the last 3 years. So we had a Google representative, we had instructional technology consultants from across the state that are at the top of their game, and we just had a great event.
Kind of sounds too that this was really special, especially having somebody come in from England for this event.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Stephen has an event called Be Very Afraid Extra, and he presented here in Michigan last year at the Architect Conference, the Midwest region. And so then we had him come in and join us last year, so we were able to twist his arm to come back again. He loves it here, and he was able to bring his event with us, to us.
Okay, you mentioned he has a special event called Be Very Afraid. Can you explain what that is?
He calls it Be Very Afraid because he thinks that adults need to be amazed by and really understand how students are using technology in their lives today. So he's held 7 Be Very Afraid events in England, and he's never held one in the United States before. So again, we were able to twist his arm to allow us to be the first United States event. And so we brought in students from our county and across the state to showcase what they could do.
What are some of the things students were able to show?
Oh, well, we had some little kindergarten and 2nd graders who showed us how they use iPads for learning in a new project that took place over in the western side of the state. We had kids involved in robotics and mechatronics who are building robots and competing with them, a very popular global skill. And we had a student who does digital design at a university level, and so we just had a wide variety.
So this whole Be Very Afraid concept and having students demonstrate at these conferences, that's got to be kind of a unique situation for us here locally, isn't it?
It is. We really think adults, if you have a young child, you see what young children are doing with technology. If you have a middle school age kid or a teenager, they're all at different developmental stages based on when they came into the technology generation, and they really are acquiring technology in a different way than we as adults do. And they're just, it's really, as they say, ubiquitous to them. It's just part of their life. And so they think nothing of it, and they just take to it easily.
I know a few years ago we kept saying, and kind of joking a little bit, but it was pretty serious, that our kids have more technology in their bedroom than we have in the classroom. Is that gap starting to close up at all?
It is, and really in our county, thanks to the leadership of our superintendent, Dan DeGrow, and our local superintendents, our schools are really moving forward with technology, and our community has supported, our community in general in the county has supported technology bonds, and our schools are getting more technology at the fingertips of teachers and students.
What kind of message was given to the teachers and administrators who participated in the symposium this year?
I think basically one of the key things was we need to think beyond our borders. We need to think globally and interact with kids around the world, and we need to be willing to take risks, to not know all the answers. We want to be early adopters of change and not the second tier, I think, in our county. And so this really kind of gave us the impetus to do that and to have some strategies to do that.
Okay. I know we have some very talented kids in our county. I think they're really surprised and really making an impact internationally now, even while they're still in school. And so under your direction, you produced a new video to kind of tell that story. Tell us a little bit about that video.
Yes, working with our communications department and our video production department, we went around to classrooms of early adopter teachers who have been willing to say, I'm going to learn how to use that technology in my classroom. So we got into, I believe, every district in the county and looked at such things as how they're using graphing calculators and interactive slates and whiteboards and clicker student response systems to engage students, how they're using web-based instruction to support learning 24/7 that kids really gravitate to, and they don't have to take their homework home. It's right there on the web. So these teachers really deserve a hats off. They're really out there trying to be cutting edge on the behalf of their students.
Well, we have the opportunity to view that video right now. We'd like you to see it. So let's watch Meeting the Needs of Today's Learners, Learning 2.0.
Today's teachers are changing. They're demonstrating the power of technology to transform students' learning and inspire creative thinking. Technology is transforming the way today's children learn, and as a result, education is changing to accommodate these digital natives. In the industrial era, it was enough for children to master the 3 R's. For a long time, teaching didn't change. Learning didn't change. But then along came the 21st century. In this digital age, technology has become a driving force in the lives of today's children. In St. Clair County, technology tools are in place to enhance the curriculum. Teachers are demonstrating the power of technology to transform students' learning and inspire creative thinking. One tool being used is digital storytelling. Digital storytelling incorporates multimedia into the curriculum. Moreover, digital storytelling is a way to incorporate and teach 21st century technology skills such as information literacy, visual and technology literacy, global awareness, and communication.
It helps you interpret things in a different way. Like, some people vision stories other than other people, so everybody will vision it the same way, so it helps you know what the writer is talking about.
Digital storytelling is using technology to tell stories. They go through the same writing process they do on any writing piece, except for this piece is once they finish the writing process, they're going to take a storyboard and plan out theirs just like you would plan out a movie. In 6th grade, you have many reluctant writers, and this is the one time that I don't have those reluctant writers. They're very excited about the writing. They still go through the same writing process of brainstorming. We're still giving first drafts. We're still revising and editing and doing all of that process, but we're using a computer and Movie Maker 1 to do that with, so that's really exciting.
Baseball Spectacular by Dylan Slank. 10th batter called the umpire. Guess who's 10th batter? Is me. I was nervous because Noah Burgess was pitching.
I like this better because it's more fun, and it's not really, because if you write it, then it's harder for the reader to get the image of what you're talking about. But then again, when you're doing the digital storytelling, you have the picture of what happened. So I like that better.
The use of iPads is becoming more and more common in today's school. The iPad is a tablet computer designed as a platform for audiovisual media, including books, periodicals, movies, music, games, and web content.
It's a great way to introduce technology to the students, and also it's teaching them how to share and how to take turns, and that's a big part of kindergarten. I think it's wonderful because we seem to be competing for their attention at all times, so this is a great way to keep their attention, and they are learning as they are engaged in something fun.
The boys in the small group are using the iPad. There's 4 or 5 games loaded onto the iPad that they're able to use. They were doing some beginning sounds, ending sounds, vowel recognition. There's also, for more of the beginning of the year, they did letter recognition and sound recognition. Matching. There's also some timed math activities that they're able to do, like addition and subtraction, where it times them and they have to do so many in a certain amount of time.
I find after years of using the same textbook over and over and over again, I become complacent. We're using the iPad to supplement the teaching. I become more excited, and in turn the kids become more excited. So I will quote one of my students as saying, she thinks all teachers should have an iPad to teach with because it just makes things fun.
Today's high school students are required to take at least 2 years of foreign language classes. Today, in Catherine Leon's first-year Spanish class at Port Huron Northern High School, students are collaborating to build a story in Spanish using a computer program called Edmodo.
I would call it a social micro-blogging site. Very, very similar to Facebook. So many people are familiar with that, but you can blog things on there that people can comment on. But it's more specific to education. It's specifically for teachers and for students. I did a story starter in which I posted the start of a story in Spanish, and each student had to write at least 1 sentence to continue the story in Spanish and demonstrate their learning of the vocabulary we've recently learned. What's nice about this is that they can collaborate in real time, and they can see their ideas as they're popping up, which is kind of neat to be able to do that.
I think Edmodo is a pretty interesting new Web 2.0 technology for schools because it really is a blend of what we're seeing in social media like Facebook and Twitter and MySpace that has that stream of information coming in, but then has sort of the walled garden of what educators might want for keeping a contained classroom setting. And it allows students to interact with other students and the teachers and gives them the opportunity to have access to learning resources, calendars, and updates from the teacher.
I think it motivates the students more because it makes us feel like we're worth having like higher technology than just a pencil and paper, and I think it's more exciting and more interaction between students and teachers.
Another tool teachers are using is a learning management system called Moodle. At Algonac High School, Michelle Landrum's IB higher level biology class students are using Moodle in a variety of ways to work on lab projects.
Moodle is a website that all of the class materials can be placed on. It is accessible from home, anywhere where you have internet access. It's kind of an organizational tool that helps both the teacher and the student stay organized. They can access their class materials wherever they're at, whether they're at home or at school or at a library at grandma's house. Anytime you're organized, you're more efficient. And I think because of its ability to keep you organized, you do get more done. It's great because I think colleges are almost all blended learning, and it helps them prepare and know how to post things on a forum. It helps them know what to expect when they leave high school.
At first, when we walked into this classroom, both of us were like, wow, how are we going to work with computers?
We like hated it.
Yeah, we were like, what the heck is this? Why can't we be in a regular classroom and stuff? And then as the year went on, we realized that like it's actually helpful. If we had computers in every class, we would be able to, like, in this class I get a lot of work done.
Yeah.
And it just runs so smoothly, and you save
time.
Yeah, you can do more than one thing at a time. Instead of flipping through papers, you can just go online and look stuff up, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Video conferencing is another tool available to teachers and students in St. Clair County. A video conference gives students an opportunity to visit a place they might not be able to go otherwise, such as zoos, museums, NASA, U.S. Congress, and more. Schools all over St. Clair County use this technology on a daily basis.
NASA was a nice fit in that they could give us some perspective about rockets that you can't get in a textbook or a website. It gives them first-hand knowledge. They're able to ask questions that interest them and get clarifications of items that it may not be in a reading, but they can ask a first-hand person directly.
Video conferencing, I think, can bring them to a place where they may never have visited or may never visit. It can show them what other parts of the world look like, other parts of the United States, even zoos that they may never go to visit, classrooms, how they differ, how the kids differ. We did a video conference with a class in Texas, and we were in our winter coats. They were out on the playground with shorts on. So that's something that's very interesting to students, to make them aware that how things differ in different places.
Through video conferencing, my students get to meet an actual survivor from the Holocaust.
I'm so traumatized in retrospect.
It's not feasible or practical to take 180, 220 students to the Holocaust Memorial Center, although we'd love to. We can't do that. And so through video conferencing, they actually get to see and hear and even interact through asking questions of a survivor. That's not something they could do without this type of technology. My students are never the same after this. They learn in a way that even though the book is good and I can tell them some stories in the classroom, once they hear the story from an actual survivor, it changes them, it changes their thinking.
I think just meeting a person who actually went through it is kind of just like a huge impact, more than like reading about something or hearing about it. Actually talking with a person who was a part of this event really was a huge part of it.
I had an experience to meet someone from the Holocaust, which I would never have been able to without technology or a teacher who would let us do this, but experienced a story that was actually real.
Teachers are using robotics technology as a tool to engage students and teach them how to solve real-life problems. Scott Isley, a teacher at St. Clair High, offers an after-school robotics class where students have the opportunity to compete in RoboFest, a yearly competition held at Lawrence Technological University.
The competition this year is based on the oil spill that happened down the Gulf, and the students have to build a robot which will carry out a styrofoam cup to cap a couple wells that are made out of PVC pipe. So they're learning about robotics. They're also learning mechanical engineering skills by having to build the robot so it's functional, so it's robust, so it stays together when it falls off the table. So all the gears work properly and mesh. They're learning computer programming skills. They're learning obviously how to work as a team and how to solve problems.
Science, there is a lot of math involved. There's also a lot of, you have to be able to think outside the box. Because there's a lot, sometimes you need to build big, complicated things to solve a simple problem. And it's really fun. It's really fun.
An interactive whiteboard connects a computer and projector. The projector then displays the computer's desktop onto a board surface. Teachers all over St. Clair County are using interactive whiteboards as a tool to enhance their daily lessons.
Particularly in physics, it seems like almost every problem we do ends up, one of the first steps that we want to do is draw a sketch of the problem. And so being able to use that board, it really facilitates making those sketches neat and reproducible. We can draw one and save it and come back to it the next day and not have to get the colored chalk out and try to recreate those complicated drawings. So it's a good use for that.
They love it. They like that it's hands-on. They really feel engaged. It tends to keep them all on task most of the time, rather than just being at a center with activities that they're able to do on their own. We've been learning about nouns and verbs, and we've been doing a lot of it whole group. So today during our center time, I have a parent volunteer. The kids are just separating nouns into person, place, and thing. And at the end of the lesson, they are also putting some verbs in there.
Now that I've used it for a couple of years, it's where the kids are at now. You can't not use it. Like if I blow a bulb, I'm lost. It's how they think now.
Student responders are an effective tool that helps enhance student learning. Teachers using response systems in St. Clair County have found that they create an interactive and engaging learning environment and allow them to gauge student understanding instantly.
We find that the kids are very involved whenever we use the responders, very active, engaged in the lesson. Everyone's required to have an answer, so everyone is participating. So you don't just have those students who are constantly raising their hand, giving you the answer, you have everyone involved. And the students send in their answer, and then the answer is immediately popped up on the screen. So I get immediate feedback. I know that all the students are learning what they should be learning, or if they're not, what misconceptions are, so I can clear that up immediately. So it's become a very invaluable tool.
I can get input on them instantly. It's all of them are numbered by their classroom number, so I can even paste it and look at the results later. I can pull up any result at any time when they're clicking or answering. It's just one way to get them all involved. Of course, they always want to have the right answer or get 100%, that all of them got it right, so that's their goal. It's amazing.
Today we used the smartboard and clickers to review some concepts that we've been working on over the last couple of weeks, number properties and integer operations. The students want to perform, they want to compete, and they also like the fact that no one else knows what answer they're putting in. So they're not afraid to put down the wrong answer or the right answer, hopefully the right answer, but they're not afraid to get something wrong. And they learn from seeing the results right away.
At Algonquin Middle School, Teacher Jamie Smith uses a multitude of technologies to teach math concepts. In this lesson, she is using a Mobi tablet, student responders, and her interactive whiteboard. This is an excellent example of mixing traditional teaching and integrating technology. Technology can encourage students to learn in alternative ways. At Holland Woods, students in the after-school program have been enticed to read by using the Nook, an electronic book reader.
We had a special education student that wanted to read the Nooks, and the books that we had on our Nook was a little more advanced, I think, than he was reading. So he wanted to read one. We gave it a shot, and it was amazing how he read 23 pages in an hour. And every time he gets a chance now, if he can't get onto the Nook to read, he'll go to our own personal library that the after-school program has here at Holland Woods and pick the book up in a soft cover and read it. And I believe right now he's almost halfway through the book. So whereas he would have probably never have picked that book up off the shelf with the Nook, he grabbed hold of it.
As you can see from these examples, applying the principles of universal design allows teachers to create instructional opportunities that are flexible enough from the onset to engage all learners. In such classrooms, students become active learners who use diverse technologies to develop skills that will successfully carry them into the 21st century.
Yeah, teachers across St. Clair County seem to be integrating more technology into their classrooms, and I think a large part of that has to do with the fact that technology is more widely available at home through mobile devices like cell phones and iPod touches. Internet and Wi-Fi is more available in communities and in homes, and so then we're also seeing in schools that they've been able to invest and bring that technology in, and everyone is a little more comfortable with that and then able to see how it has learning applications and not just personal applications.
The thing with children is their whole world is technologically based. And so if you don't present it from a technological standpoint, many of them don't internalize their learning and see no relevance to their learning, because in their world, pencil and paper is slowly becoming obsolete.
It's to the point where I don't think I could ever go back to just the plain whiteboard and marker. It's just, and even in teaching, it's just refreshed my whole teaching as a teacher. And I've been teaching 10 years, and I just feel like it's a whole new world out there with technology.
I feel like it would be a disservice to my students not to use every piece of technology that I could, because they're 21st century learners, and that's what engages them. That's what they're going to be using in the future.
Well, Joanne, it's a pretty exciting video to see what our kids can do, and it's just amazing that we have that much talent in our own backyard.
It is. It's very exciting, and it kind of chokes me up to see how these teachers and students are pushing forward, and we're really excited to be involved in it this coming year. We're going to be out there helping implement some new grants that we offered, and so we're going to see more of this.
Great. Now, if somebody just tuned in and caught the end of the video or like to see it again, is there other opportunity that people can look at that?
Yes, they can go to our RESA website, SCCRESA.org, and either search RESA videos, or they can go to YouTube and search RESA videos. So they'll find it either way.
Great. Well, we thank you, Joanne, for joining us. We want to thank you also for joining us in this edition of Dateline Schools.